Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBuzz TV, mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. Another Hofa plugin review, this time is the IQ-EQ. This one is a very deep equalizer. Probably one of the deepest plugin that I've seen so far. It's not just an equalizer. It can work pretty much as a full channel strip. As the other Hofa plugin, it sounds very good. And you can decide to use just the basic controls and use it as a regular EQ, or you can go dig into all the very deep controls that this equalizer offers. Let's quickly take a look at the features. You have an input control with the trim, the filter section, and then the output control with the trim and levels. On the setting panel, you can set up some preferences like ears only if you want to take out the analyzer. You can show all the dynamics because yes, this equalizer it also can work as a dynamic EQ or a wideband compressor or a multiband compressor. You have the settings for the analyzer, the EQ display range, and as the IQ comp you have oversampling for live and offline. So what this EQ offers? You have a 6-band full parametric equalizer plus 2 filters, high pass and low pass. And you can change the slope, you can change the frequency, and you can change the Q. That's pretty regular. But the first nice thing of this equalizer is the filter selection. You have, for each band, you can select a bell, regular bell, or shelves, or this tilt EQ here. Okay, let me take the filter out. As you can see, with one band you can change the whole spectrum right away, and you have several, and they work like this one, for example, works a lot like a Pultec EQ with a dip right before a boost, and you have other option for the curves and the bells, or resonant, and you can change the Q and make it more obvious. So the filter selection is very wide and it gives you a lot of options. Let's hear how it sounds on drum. And you can bypass individual band, of course. And each band has preset, as you can see. It's very nice feature for this one. The filters are very smooth. And as you can see, the bandwidth is crazy. It goes down to 1, okay, and up to 40K. So I don't know any other EQ that goes this low, or this high probably yes, but this low, no, I can't think about anything. Now let me show you the feature that sets this EQ apart from the rest, and that is the dynamic section. Dynamic section, it makes the EQ work like a dynamic EQ. So you can cut and boost a frequency dynamically like you would with a multiband compressor, but you don't have the crossover filters. That's the main difference between a multiband compressor and a dynamic EQ. And you can go in auto mode, like for example, let's take the gain away. And I want to tame this range. I just set the threshold. Make it a little more solid, a little more controlled. But you can go in manual mode and set attack and release and ratio and threshold manually. And we will see work as a de-esser, for example, or any other multiband processing that you would use a multiband compressor for, you can use this EQ. And another cool feature is, for example, let's say I want to boost this range here only when the kick hits. The ratio, it can go in upward compression. You see? The range is boosted only when the kick hits. And the controls are very, very precise. The gain reduction meter shows you how many dB I'm compressing or expanding. So it's a very complex EQ because you have this option for all the 6 bands. And you can go for each and every one in auto mode or manual mode. Let's try it on vocal, for example, as a de-esser. Should be a preset for that. Let's see how that works. And here you see another feature opened up is the sidechain, because when you use the dynamic section of this EQ, as you would with a compressor, you can sidechain internally, so you can pick a frequency that will trigger the compression, that will trigger the dynamic section, or you can go external and have external sidechain that controls whatever processing you're doing. And this you can do on each and every band. So it's crazy the amount of control that you have. Right now the sidechain is internal. You can change, of course, the filter type for that, Q and frequency.
And I know you will lead to my demise, but I just ignore.
As you can see in the sidechain filter now, there's a band pass, which is this transparent line, and the type of filter for the actual compression, for the actual reduction of the range is the shelf. But you can go bell and tweak a little more precisely.
You couldn't tell the truth to save your soul.
This vocal doesn't really need de-essing, but just to give an example, let's say around 6K.
And I know you couldn't tell the truth to save your soul.
And of course, you can do any kind of external, internal sidechain, like ducking the bass with the kick or ducking the guitars with the lead vocals. It works, like I said, as a full channel strip where you have a static EQ, a dynamic EQ, external sidechain, internal sidechain, a number of filters and different type of bells and resonance shelves that are very, very nice and very, very good sounding. You have oversampling, you have a very good analyzer that I like very much. I like the color scheme of the Hofa plugins, and they are overall great products. Let's try these EQ on full mix. For example, let's tame this range a bit. Go dynamic. And I gotta say, the compression, it sounds very smooth. a little upward compression in the high-end area. And my favorite filter for the low end. So this is a finished mix. I'm not trying to make it sound any better. Just wanted to show you what this EQ can do, and is a lot. Like I said, it's very deep. And once again, it can be used as a simple static EQ, or it can do things that pretty much no other plugin can. You might need to spend some time on it. It definitely has a learning curve. But all in all, my advice is to check it out. Check out the Hofa plugin line, and if you go to their site, they have also free plugins that you can download. So I hope this video was informative. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.